This is Logitech's FabricSkin Folio for the iPad Air. Hi, Dan from Gear Diary. Today we're going to take a look at Logitech's FabricSkin Keyboard Folio for the iPad Air. This has an MSRP of $149.99. It will not only give you a keyboard that will help turn your iPad Air into a productivity machine, but it also protects your iPad and gives it some style at the same time. Let's crack it open, take a look at it, and see if the FabricSkin Keyboard Folio is the right keyboard folio for you. Inside the package, you get this USB to micro USB charging cable, and you get the FabricSkin Keyboard Folio. It has a nice material on the side. It comes in 3 different colors. This one is actually nice and blingy. It has the Logitech name here on this tab, and as you can see, it has a cutout for the camera and a cutout here so that you can access the controls nice and easily. If we open it up, what you'll see inside is that you've got these 2 spots that actually grab hold of your iPad Air, and then you have the keyboard down here. This is a keyboard that is a flush, waterproof keyboard so that you don't have to worry about spilling, but you do in the process lose the play that you get if you're using a keyboard case that has island keys. So let's take the iPad Air, let's put it inside, and let's see if this might be a really good option for you. So the Keyboard Folio weighs about 0.9 pounds, so it's just under a pound. It does not add a significant amount of weight to the iPad Air, and it also doesn't add a significant amount of bulk. Basically, this is, it feels like any folio case that you might use with your iPad Air, in fact, thinner than a lot of them. And it is really protective. I do like the fact, if you take a look, I do like the fact that the folio does extend beyond the borders of the iPad Air. That gives you a little more room on the keyboard, but it also means that the edges of the iPad Air are actually totally protected when they're inside this case. I'm not coming anywhere near the iPad Air when I do that. That's a really nice feature because you want a keyboard folio not only to give yourself a keyboard, but also to protect your hefty investment in an iPad Air. This does a really good job of that. When you open up the keyboard case, you do get the sleep-awake functionality, so it does have that going for it, which is really nice. And the iPad is held in really nicely, even though it's only held at these 2 corners. I should note that I have a Bodyguard's protective film on the iPad Air, and I was able to get it in the case with no problem. It doesn't damage the skin, and it also doesn't loosen the grip or make it too tight. It actually, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, the way that this works is that the case is hinged here, so the iPad comes down here, and it does magnetically connect right there so that it gets held in place. It is really at one angle and one angle only, so if that angle is no good for you, you're not going to be all that happy. If the angle is okay for you, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So the keyboard itself is actually quite nice. There is a lot more play to the keys than you might realize, even though this is a sealed keyboard. And it does have that advantage for travel. It also means that you're not going to have rough keys pressing on the screen of your iPad, so you don't have to worry about that. You do lose some of the play, but that's actually not bad. My typing experience on this is good. It's not as good as it is with keyboards that are island keys that are each separate and individual, but there's a trade-off to be made here because you do get a sealed keyboard. Their keyboards are actually pretty decently sized. You do get all of the numbers being multifunction, so each of these buttons is a number, a symbol, and a special iPad function button. So you're going to have to be pressing and shifting and pressing and controlling, and some people aren't going to like that. That's, again, one of the trade-offs you make when you're using a keyboard with a tablet of this size. You also have the keys arranged a little bit differently than you would on other keyboards. We'll have a picture of that and a comparison in the full review over on Gear Diary, but that's not a deal breaker. What it does mean, however, is that there's going to be a learning curve when you start using this. Other than that, I actually think this is a really nice option. I do love the fabric. It feels really nice and really protective. I do love the fact that it extends beyond the iPad's edges for added protection. I do love the fact that it's exceptionally thin and it actually feels really, really light still. And you can flip it around and you can use your iPad in tablet mode. That's actually what's really nice here. There are no keys here, so you can just hold your iPad like this. And you can use your iPad as if it were a tablet, and it does not feel all that heavy at all. So this is the Logitech FabricSkin Keyboard Folio. It has an MSRP of $149.99. It's available in 3 colors over on Logitech. We'll have links in the full review over on Gear Diary. This is Dan for Gear Diary. Thanks very much for watching.